Welcome, fellow horror hounds, and welcome to the latest episode of Talk and Stalk, your unholy home for horror. I'm your host, as always, Barry, and I'm joined today by fellow friend and film fan, Joseph.
Hey, guys.
Good to have you here, man. Obviously, two-time quiz champion. And also just picked to the post on two other occasions as well.
True. Very true.
But yeah, it's good. What we're going to do today is we're going to be talking about a little-known horror film that's coming out soon. I already feel like I've done about 15 million podcasts on this movie. So I'm just going to announce this is going to be the last podcast I do concerning this movie up until release. And we're going to be talking about Halloween Kills. Now, obviously, me and you haven't done... I've done like a little solo one a little while ago, but me and you haven't really talked about it. We haven't talked about our thoughts on the trailer. We haven't talked about what our expectations for the film are and what we think this is going to kind of do, box office-wise. Because I know you're really excited for this film. I know, obviously, you're a big Halloween fan like me.
Oh, God, yeah.
So... yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we were getting this film last year, weren't we? This was supposed to be October last year. The fact that this is coming out a whole year later, would you say you're any less excited? Has your enthusiasm for the film dwindled at all?
No.
You're just as excited now as what you were before October last year?
Yep, just as excited, yeah.
Okay, that's good, because I think sometimes when you have to wait a long time for something, there's always that risk that you can end up, enthusiasm can kind of dwindle.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's only a year wait. It's not like we're waiting 2 years, 3 years, or whatever. I'm still very much excited for this film as well.
Sweet.
Obviously, we got the trailer, didn't we? We had the trailer a little while ago, all over the internet. I've probably watched it 4 or 5 times, and I imagine you've seen it probably about 967 times.
Oh, keep adding the zeros.
Yeah. So what was your kind of takeaway from this trailer? Did this trailer get you more excited for the film? Has this trailer really sold the movie for you?
Yeah. It was the type of thing where, because obviously last Halloween, Blumhouse put out like the little minute, not even a minute teaser. And stuff. That got me pumped. But what happens with me is, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this, which is when big studios give you glimpses, and it's nothing really major, you kind of start to figure it in your head. You make your own kind of version of what's going to happen. Just. But I have to say that when we got the first full trailer for it, it was actually very different from what I thought it was going to be. Because obviously I knew that, from reading stuff, about, the citizens of Haddonfield, they were going to be a lot more involved in this and stuff, But, it really surprised me how much they are, because I kind of thought it was going to be maybe towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
They were getting, but could be because why trailers can be deceiving.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like, if they do go with what we've seen, it was like, Jesus, these guys are really involved from the get-go, and it does harken back to what, what's his name? David Gordon Green said, the film's about, misinformation, and people just panicking and stuff. So,
yeah.
But no, as I say, when I seen the trailer, I will admit it was a lot more violent than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. The latest trailer, the new trailer, yeah? Yeah. It's it does, doesn't it? It looks like it shows a lot. The trailer shows a lot. Now, the film's probably going to be about an hour and 45 minutes at a guess. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that we're not seeing. Clearly, I mean, this looks like a Halloween film on steroids. This clearly, but they've already said that this is going to be a pretty hardcore movie. Michael Myers is going to be laying waste to a lot of people in this movie. I'm kind of surprised they showed as many kills as what they did in the trailer, but I mean, it's called Halloween Kills. I mean, the title kind of says it all, and I'll admit, I'm excited for the film. At the same time, I'm kind of like, have they showed a little bit too much? But trailers are edited in such a way that it can be quite deceiving. Because it's like you said with the mob, which again kind of harks back to Halloween 4, where there was actually a bit of a mob in that as well. We don't know if it's going to be towards the climax of the film, because obviously there's a lot of returning characters. They're certainly playing on nostalgia with this movie, having Tommy Doyle back, Lindsay Wallace back, Sheriff Lee Brackett. Yeah. Who am I missing? Even Lonnie, the bully. The little kid that bullies. I mean, even he's in the film.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised. Actually, I'm not sure if you're with me here. I'm actually quite surprised that there's been no mention or anything of Ben Tramer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I actually thought? Halloween 2018. Now, I don't know if they've missed a trick here at all. I just thought this would have been, because the Halloween 2018 kind of like, again, paid on nostalgia. You know, it made a lot of callbacks to the original movie. Is that I actually thought that Laurie Strode's ex was going to be Ben Tramer, and he was going to be the father of her daughter.
Yeah.
I thought there was going to be a kind of a little callback to that, but who else am I missing? I feel like there's one other character. Yes, that's it. Marion Chambers. Yeah, Nancy Stevenson, who now look, I'm going to go out and say this, right? I don't do trailer breakdowns. I don't see the point. I just wait till the film gets here. I've never wanted to do scene by scene of the trailer, because I feel like you might end up ruining it for yourself. But I did notice something in the trailer, is that it looks like, from what I can tell, she's getting it again.
Yeah.
Marion Chambers just can't get a deal, can she? She was killed in Halloween H20. She's getting killed in this one. It took a few viewings to notice it, but we see her wearing this like purple and that outfit, and then we see, which again, a callback to Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, we see a body hanging up wearing a witch's mask. And correct me if I'm wrong, it seems to be the same clothes as what Nurse Marion Chambers was wearing.
It does.
So we already know she gets killed.
Yeah, that surprised me. I actually did see a video. It might have been Wolfman. It might have been Wolf. But he kind of said that he was surprised himself when he caught that on. But he said, listen, it could be deceiving. It could be the trailer tricking you. But
yeah,
is it too much of a coincidence?
I think it's Matt. Look, at the end of the day, we already know this film's got a big body count. We know a lot of people are going to get killed. My money would be on her getting killed anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not seeing her death. We're not seeing how she's killed or whatever. And obviously we see a few firemen getting killed as well. I actually love that shot where he's walking out of the burning building. It's done in slow. It's done in slow-mo. It's almost Michael Bay-esque, if you will. Yeah. And they're all staring at him. It's just that kind of badass moment. And then was it one of them with a chainsaw? Like he's using like a buzzsaw or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he picks up one, and we get like a POV shot, don't we, from the fireman? That's. So I mean, already, there was probably about 5 or 6 firemen there. That's 5 or 6 dead already.
Yeah.
Now I don't know about you, because what I love about the original Halloween is I love that whole kind of emphasis on him being the boogeyman. I love that whole kind of like stalking aspect, that he spends the majority of the film stalking his victims. And I feel like obviously much of that is obviously going to be sacrificed for a film with a high body count.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody made the point that this is what I didn't want. I don't want Michael Myers to become Jason Voorhees. That's what's always made Michael Myers stand out from Jason, is the fact that, especially in the first 2 films, he seems to take more of a stance on stalking. And I've always loved that whole kind of like 1 minute he's there, the next he's not, and that. But somebody brought up the point of he's essentially been a caged animal for 40 years. There's probably a lot of pent-up aggression there.
Yeah.
He's probably, excuse my language, he's probably really pissed.
Yeah.
So when somebody brought that up, I thought to myself, maybe that explains why he is more relentless now. Is that he's been a caged animal. You've locked him away for 40 years. He's really pissed. He's going to kill a lot of people when he's out.
Exactly. Plus, you got to think, that when you think about it, that he is now missing 2 of his fingers. And basically, spoiler alert, they left him to burn to death.
Yeah.
So, you gotta say, well, I would be pissed. I
don't know why Laurie's got to take it so personally. All he's trying to do is kill her. Do you know what I mean? What the hell? Bit harsh, isn't it? Locking him in a house and trying to, kill him, innit? Burn him to death and whatever. Jesus Christ. Talk about an overreaction. The thing is with Halloween 2018, I thought James Jude Courtney did a really good job, actually.
Fabulous.
As Miles. I like the mask. I like the physicality that he brought to the role. I think my only issue with the film, really, was some of the injection of humour.
Yeah.
It for me personally, because I get it. It's a Blumhouse film. It's trying to appeal as well as it can to a mainstream audience. I get that. They're going to throw jokes in there, going to throw humour in there and all that. But I wasn't too keen on some of the humour. But overall, at the same time, I thought it was a solid slasher film. It was a good Halloween film. Now, I can't remember what the body count was for that movie, but I'm gonna ask you to go out on a limb here. How many people do you think are going to get killed in this film, roughly?
Oh, well, to be honest, I seen a thing that was online, and they actually said, and I'm not kidding, I was actually like, Jesus, that's crazy, where it was 100 plus.
What?
Yeah.
100 plus?
100 plus, yeah. Whether or not now that is true, but it was someone who said they knew someone or someone close to the production and that, and they said, this thing is just nuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, I'm not sure if that would be the highest body count ever for a slasher film, because I know Jason X 2001, if you include all the people that were on like Space Station or whatever, he killed, I'm not sure if it was hundreds or whatever, but they were kind of like unseen deaths.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say, the trailer would imply there's a lot of people going to get killed in this movie. I was going to guess that probably I'd expect around about 30, 35 people in this film, which is still a lot. It's a hell of a lot.
It is. Again, it could be one of those, it's off screen.
Yeah.
You would maybe hear like a police report, from the Haddonfield Police Department, we've found X amount of bodies, so you can have to tally it.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. We've not seen Charles Cyphers, Sheriff Lee Brackett. Was he seen in the trailer? I don't think we saw him in the trailer, did we?
No. He is actually one of my returning characters that I'm really excited to see, because obviously in this new timeline we have not seen him and his reaction till Annie's death.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we've seen it in Halloween 2, which obviously now isn't canon, but it was one of the things where I really it's something that I thought the 2018 film really kind of missed on, which is the fact that if they had have even had a scene where if someone had asked Laurie, or if there was a moment where Laurie was remembering Annie and PJ Soul's character, Linda.
Totally.
Totally. Their death, just a little emotional punch. Yeah. I think it would add it to her, post-traumatic stress disorder, this whole idea of, just like, this is another reason why I really want to kill this guy, because he took so much, and I think that if they had have added just something, even if it had been like a little, moment where there was a flashback to them and, walking down the street or something, or say if Aaron, one of the reporters, would have said, like he killed, some of your friends. It would have been a nice little emotional punch. But hey ho, but that's one of the reasons why I'm excited for Charles Cyphers coming back as Brackett, because if they can really bring that emotional aspect to it, I think it will be brilliant. If they play it well.
Are you going to be really annoyed if it's little more than a blink and you'll miss it kind of cameo?
Yes, but I will say this. There was a fellow YouTuber, I think he's American, and when Charles Cyphers was announced to come back as Brackett, when you had that photo of him, in the security guard, and I think that this guy, he was getting a lot of stuff saying, Brackett, it is a blink and you miss, thing. But apparently he says he is in the film.
Okay.
More than a cameo, he has stuff to do.
Okay.
And when that kind of made me think, well, okay, maybe they are going to bring that thing with Annie into it. Yeah. Because if Laurie's in the hospital and he's a security guard, they are going to, cross paths, so, and I'm sure Brackett might have his own agenda for Michael, because he killed his daughter.
What I'm actually looking forward to the flashback sequence. Now, I don't know how long it's going to be. I mean, it could be little more than a minute. It could be 3 or 4 minutes or whatever, but I'm looking forward to...
Oh, sorry. No, I actually heard that it's 10 minutes long.
10 minutes?
It's 10 minutes, yeah.
And it will go back to the night of 78.
70.
So with Donald Pleasance. So Dr. Sam Loomis, should I say, probably using a stand-in or...
Yeah. Now, again, this is taking it with a grain of salt, but I didn't want to read, because it had a test screening, and I didn't want to read too much in case it spoiled anything, but they just briefly wrote some stuff down, and they did say that Dr. Loomis does make an appearance.
Okay.
Which actually, it did make me excited. Whether or not, if it's a stand-in or if it's one of the CG, we don't know, but it would make sense if they're doing that.
That's quite a common thing now with CG. They did it in, obviously, Star Wars Rogue One. CG and actors is quite... And there's been some fantastic jobs done. I think one of the best CG works done is of Kurt Russell in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
That was perfect.
They de-aged him. You know what I mean? They did a really good job with that. And apparently it was minimal CG. It was a use of lighting and makeup they made that really work. I'm looking forward to this flashback scene because obviously they're going to be using a mask. It is very similar to the original 78 mask as well. And obviously we've got Tommy Doyle in this film. I think we see him a couple of moments in the trailer. We see him sporting the... Correct me if I'm wrong. He don't look much younger than Jamie Lee Curtis.
Excuse me.
Had a really hard life or what? I mean, I don't know. And now Jamie Lee, she looks fantastic for her. Obviously not in this film. She's a bit kind of withered, if you will. But in real life, Jamie Lee Curtis looks incredible for her age. Now, I don't know, because obviously her character was what? How old was she in the original Halloween, Jamie Lee? Wasn't she 17? Supposed to be 7? So Tommy Doyle would have been about... How old would a Tommy Doyle been? 8, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, so 70 it is right. But they just look close to the same age in this film. I saw the actor playing. Now, I know the actress they've got for Lindsay Wallace as well is the actual... it's the actual actress, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas Tommy Doyle, it isn't, is it?
No.
It's a different actor.
Yeah, Anthony Michael Hall, yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, Marion...
Club.
What's that?
It's Brian from the Breakfast Club, if you don't know. You ever seen the Breakfast Club?
Yeah, have I seen the Breakfast Club?
Yeah,
That's like asking an alcoholic if he's ever had a drink.
Exactly.
I've seen the Breakfast Club. Good film. John Hughes. Good. But I'm just trying to think like what other bits from the trailer kind of like stand out and stuff. I mean, we get this moment in the trailer as well that's very much evoking recollections, memories of Halloween 2 with Laurie Strode in a hospital. Now I'm just wondering if he's going to get to the hospital. Hopefully this hospital's got a bit more crew there, because I think we talked about before, and Halloween 2's got to probably be the most barren hospital in the history of horror cinema.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, following like the Rob Zombie route, what he did with Halloween 2 starts off in that hospital, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But ends up being they pulled the old "It's a Dream" sequence, which is we're not going to talk about Halloween 2. I don't believe in swearing on the podcast, so
no, we'll keep it 13.
Yeah, for anyone out there that does like Halloween 2, that's fair enough. We've all got our own view. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. But yeah, so now who do you think, if any, of the three? So you got Judith Greer that plays Karen, I believe it is.
Karen.
Her granddaughter, Alison.
Yep.
And Laurie. Do you think any of them three are going to be killed off in this movie?
Yeah. I have a really strong suspicion. And I've seen it online too. You know, a lot of people suspecting this. I think Karen's going to bite the bullet. I think it's going to be Karen. Yes, that was my guess. I'll admit, a few weeks ago, I thought, you know what, Laurie Strode, they're gonna take that risk. I don't think they are. I think they're going to pull this to a really personal angle where her daughter is killed, and it becomes way more personal. Yeah. Really bridging towards into the third movie where this has become because obviously her friends have been killed. Some of her friends have already been killed. Now you're killing her family. Exactly. I mean, I don't know how many different timelines Laurie Strode's got to go through this. But I'm all for, now, in your opinion, because to me, it's not going to make or break the movie or the following film. Do you think, if done right, if done executed correctly, do you think Laurie Strode could potentially be killed off? Or is that going to cause riots? Now, there's always that chance. There's always that 50-50 chance. But I think that if they hadn't announced Halloween ends with kills, that could have been on the table a lot more. Okay. You know what I mean? But I think that you're correct. I think that they might be really, really crafty and sneaky and do it, which I think will really annoy fans. Because I really think what the fans want is the last movie for, as you say, so personal for Laura, for the two of them to really go at it. Yeah. And I've heard people say, well, if that's going to be the case, will she die but Michael lives, or vice versa, or will they both die? And I like the idea of they'll both go down together. Yeah, that's the idea that I would have probably gone along. It kind of like, I just, when fans say, oh, they're rioting, they shouldn't have done this, they shouldn't have done that. I sometimes, I've said this before many times, I'm a firm believer that sometimes you've got to take risks. But the problem is sometimes the studios are scared to take them risks because of the fan backlash. And that's exactly the worry. It's not going to make or break the film. I'm not saying that if Laurie survives, I'm going to dislike the film or anything like that. No. I'm not saying that. But she was killed in Halloween Resurrection. And it just, it just fell completely flat. And I know she gave him the kiss, and she says, "I'll see you in hell," I think she said. And then she fell back in that. It just wasn't executed. I mean, the film really shouldn't have existed in the first place, because Halloween 20 was like, I'd say, a perfect end to the franchise. In fact, Michael Myers being decapitated. So I mean, it's really impossible to call. I actually think they could kill Laurie, but there's a little part of me that says, even though they probably want to do that, they'd be scared to. Yeah. And you would maybe think, it has been in a version of the script. They have done their version, and then if Blumhouse Universal have read it. Yeah. And when they finish reading it, it's like, all right, item 1, no. And that's out, because they have that fear. Of course, they're scared, like, listen, she's the audience in these movies. she's the face.
Yeah.
Almost, you know.
Well, yeah, when Halloween H20 come out, the big selling point, Halloween H20, sorry, not Halloween H20, Halloween 2018, you know, it made like over 255 million at the box office. Big, you know, made a lot of money, huge success. And one of the selling points was, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis back on board, a continuation of the 78 film. Do you think Halloween Kills can actually get anywhere near 2018 in terms of box office?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And people would say, you know, well, now, you know, don't forget, you got to bring in, you know, the whole thing with COVID and stuff. Listen, I have been to my local cinemas now since they've opened back up again, and I've seen things, you know, where people say, oh, you know, with the social distancing and all this. Listen, my cinemas have been packed. They have been packed.
There's space, you know, right? There's spaces between seats. Yeah.
There's space, but even with that, people are still coming.
Okay.
You know, and I seen a thing where people are going, you know, cinema's dead and stuff. Excuse my language. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. You will never go cinema.
No.
You won't.
I mean, they're not making as much money as what they would, because obviously they can't fill the cinemas to maximum capacity like they could before. But I don't know if digital purchases, does that count towards box office gross now?
I think it does. I think a portion of it does since COVID happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The whole thing with Warner's and HBO Max.
Yeah. You
know, so it's viewing figures now. But I have seen a thing where there was talk of is Halloween Kills going to go till VOD? I've seen things that, you know, it might go VOD same day as theatrical release, or when the following week and a half, when actually it's Halloween, they'll put it out on VOD then.
Yeah.
It may happen, but I honestly do think that it will make, excuse my French, a shitload of money, because it's one of the films that, I mean, all you have to do is go online and look at the amount of people who wanted that trailer. Me included.
We're going to have to beat that bit out, by the way, when you said that. Because you really do fucking swear too fucking much. You know that.
Really do.
Oh, no. I did a little mini podcast recently. I think I uploaded it. Did I upload it? I think I did. I think I must have. And just a box office prediction. I mean, it's almost impossible. It's all speculation. None of us know. But I thought it wasn't going to make as much, but it's still going to do well. It's going to make a lot of profit. I think I put it because Halloween 2018 made 255, which is a lot of money, certainly for a film and a $15 to $20 million budget. I actually put this at around about, I think I said around about 200, which somewhere, maybe 210, maybe 220. I don't think it'll be a million miles off Halloween 2018. Whatever the case, it's going to be a success. But we're kind of in that age now where it's crazy. More billion-dollar making films are being made than ever now. Movies that are making $1 billion plus. And just because a film makes 500 million, people like, oh, it didn't make $1 billion. That's a lot of money still.
Exactly.
Assuming it didn't have a $350 million budget, that's still a lot of money. You think how much profit that is. But we're kind of in that age now where we just get, I've lost track of how many $1 billion plus making films there are now. The very first one was Titanic.
Yes.
Which made $2.3 billion. Highest grossing film of all time when it came out. I don't think this is going to make as much. And I don't know if the whole COVID thing is going to play into that, because obviously not having full maximum capacity. But there is obviously, like you said, it's going to make a lot of money. There's a lot of buzz. There's a lot of hype around this. Now, you're going to use your psychic powers now. Okay. So we've got one more to come. We've got Halloween Ends. Which I'm sure there's going to be about 15 million podcasts leading up to that movie. After Halloween Ends, what happens to the franchise?
Very good question. Well, this is the thing. Obviously, we were all gutted that Kells got delayed to this year.
Yeah.
But I was watching a YouTuber, I forget who it was ages ago now anyway, but they said something, and when they said it, it made so much sense. And they said this. Put it like, he says, now listen, yes, I am so gutted it got delayed, I'll admit. But he said, listen, put it like this, if we hadn't been delayed, it would have been Halloween Ends this year.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And he says, like this, when that film hits and is over, God knows how long we'll have to wait until another Halloween film.
Oh, I sense it'll, yeah.
Yeah.
I sense it'll be a long time, because this is a trilogy. And, you know, I'm perfectly cool with that. As much as I love Michael Myers is my favourite horror movie villain. I would rather quality over quantity.
Exactly.
I would rather take 3 or 4 good Halloween films than 15 bad ones.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
So it's, I mean, you've had a remake in 2007. You don't remake it again. This is a trilogy that is going to end the saga, end the story. But it's like with Friday the 13th. I mean, we had the remake in 2009. I know there's a lot of problems going on. I don't know all the mechanics behind it and that. So yeah, Halloween is a franchise that will probably be left alone for quite some time, I'd imagine, because I don't really see what they're going to do after it.
No.
But when 2018 came out, to me, it was just good to see Halloween being pushed to the forefront again.
Yeah.
Now, I enjoyed Halloween H20. I did. I mean, essentially, it was in the mold of Scream. You know, if not for the success of Scream, we wouldn't have had that film. But seeing Halloween 2018 was just, you know, seeing Halloween, Michael Myers at the very forefront of horror again. A big comeback, if you will. Now, there's going to be people listening here that are going to hate me for saying this. And you know what? I'm honest. At the end of the day, I'm always honest. If I lose subscribers, fair enough. Even though I didn't like the film, I thought to myself, why couldn't you have followed up Halloween Resurrection? I'm not being funny. Halloween Resurrection wasn't good, but Myers is still alive. He's still alive in that film.
Where is the unsubscribe button? I gotta say,
it was it was a bad film, certainly.
I understand what to say. Yeah,
I'm going to be honest here, right? And again, people aren't going to like me for saying this. I would have probably, assuming it was done okay, better than Halloween Resurrection. Okay, if it could even be up to Halloween H20 standard, which I do enjoy, I would have taken a Halloween sequel as opposed to a Rob Zombie remake.
Yeah.
No, I know that's probably a controversial, unpopular statement. I don't hate the remake. I just don't particularly care for it because I'm not Rob Zombie's biggest fan. I'm not one of his biggest fans. So.
I'll throw this in here while I'm on this. Recently, I managed to get my hands on the theatrical cuts of Rob's 2 movies because over here it was like his director cuts and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was, again, you're a Halloween fan. You're going to watch the bad movies.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know, it happens. So I went in and I hadn't seen them in such a long time. I mean, okay, I'm going to go in with an open mind. The first one has moments. It's okay, you know. But what I found, which was, and I swear to God, it was like, Jesus Christ, you know, there is no one likable in his films.
You just read my mind. That's what I was just about to say. That's the problem. That's the problem. Even Laurie, in the original, there was likability to Laurie. There's a sense of vulnerability and innocence. And the remake, it's a Rob Zombie film, isn't it? That's the thing. He has his audience, right? He certainly has his audience. And I commend him, right? He didn't just copy the film. John Carpenter said, look, do your own thing with it. Do your own thing. And he did. He put his own stamp on it. And the first half of the movie is something we haven't seen before, the childhood. But I'm like, oh my God, you know what? I rooted for Myers in that film because everyone else was just a complete unlikable character.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shouldn't. Yeah. Stepdad that gets his throat cut. I mean,
William Faith, when it started, and I was like, please kill him. I swear, I was like,
I talked about this on one of the other podcasts. It was recently, like the scene with the guy that walks into his room, his cell, and he's taunting him, and they're doing things to that woman in front of him. They're taking. Would you really, a guy with homicidal tendencies who has killed loads of people, he's 6'8", he's as wide as he is tall, would you really do that?
Exactly.
I just like,
Well, I will say this, because it was the theatrical cut, that was different than the version that we got with that scene.
Oh, yeah.
In the scene, it was in some of the trailers. It was Bill Moseley, Leslie Easterbrook, and is it Tom Towles?
Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah.
But they were basically, Michael was being transferred, and they were like a bunch of cops to escort him and stuff, and they were leading him down a hallway, and he was like covered in chains and stuff, and basically just used the chains and like literally tore them apart, and it was so much better than that thing. Because that scene, when I seen it, I was like, first of all, I hated it. I felt so uncomfortable. It was like, you did not need to do this. It's horrendous. And as you say, it makes no sense whatsoever. It really doesn't.
I mean, at the end of the day, these people they're there to be killed anyway. And I suppose they just, I don't know, they had, being Rob Zombie, there had to be something smutty and sexual and that as well. Like just the language that is used, like even just the opening scene of the film, language that I'm like, to me, again, like I don't hate Rob Zombie as a director. I don't, or anything. But I just don't, for me personally, Rob Zombie was not a good fit for Halloween.
No.
I would have liked to have seen another director. If it's going to be remade, I would have ideally liked to have seen someone else tackle it. Not that I think the film needs to be remade necessarily.
No.
But with this film, like James Jude Courtney, because I think Tyler Mane was too big. No fault of his own. I just think he was too big. Too tall, way too... James Jude Courtney, he's quite a well-built guy. He's 6'3". He's quite tall. He's taller than Nick Castle. I mean, Nick Castle was 5'10" at his peak. But I don't feel like Myers in this film is too big or anything like that. No. He's got the right kind of build and stature. So,
the man.
I mean, what's that?
He's the man. He's not a mountain. He's a man.
He's a man, Now, I just want to quickly get back to something that we're talking about, like who's going to die, blah, blah. And this gets me onto Scream quickly, because this theory is going around that, I don't know if you've heard of this theory, that Sidney Prescott in Scream, the 5th Scream film, could be the killer.
Yeah, I have heard that going around the rumor mills. Again, it's like Jamie Lee being killed. It's the 50-50.
I just I couldn't keep a straight face when I read it.
Yeah,
I'm like, that is got to be. That is not going to happen.
No.
So they're just completely butcher Sidney Prescott's entire arc.
Yeah.
It just makes no logical sense whatsoever.
I'll make you laugh. On the basis of that, I seen someone say, when I read that theory, someone said, well, in a way it would make sense because she's been through all this hell.
Okay.
And she's probably damaged her in a way. And I kind of said, well, they could have done that with Laurie Strode.
That gets me on the point. It turns out in a twist, Michael Myers actually then dies in Halloween Kills. And Halloween Ends, Laurie has put the mask on and the coveralls. Yeah.
I see, this is the thing with the internet, and rumors and stuff, they swirl, and...
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not even a plausible one, though. I'm all for theories and stuff and whatever. You theorize, but, I don't understand people that search out for leaks and stuff as well. No. Like, I want to go into the 5th Scream film not knowing, having no idea who that killer is. Or killers. Because if we're going to, go on... statistics and all that here, there's a good chance there's probably going to be more than one killer in this film. Why would you want to go into a film knowing who that killer's going to... Why? I just don't get that. Like, because when Scream came out, the internet was nowhere near the size what it is now. And it was a genuine, legitimate surprise. I don't know about you. I never saw the 2 killer twist coming.
No.
I thought that was clever. I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
No, I think anyone that thinks Neve Campbell could possibly be the killer in the 5th Scream film,
No.
The fact that now, could she die? Yes. But
absolutely,
again, it comes down to, because I've already heard some people saying online, oh my God, they're disrespecting Wes Craven's legacy. Wes Craven never would have had this. You can't kill her off. There's going to be riots of people. And that's what kind of worries me, that they won't kill off Sid. I personally think a big move like that should happen. And the reason for that is, what else do you do with her storyline? What part does Sidney Prescott play in this overall storyline now? How far can you take her arc?
Exactly.
With a new generation of characters coming into this franchise now.
Yeah.
And it's like, even in the 4th Scream film, it's not like Sidney Prescott really had particularly that much of an arc in that film, in all honesty.
No.
So, I don't know about you. Controversial to say. I would be, if executed correctly, if done well, I'd be perfectly cool to see Sidney Prescott die.
Yeah. It's going back to Laurie Strode, if it's handled well.
Yeah.
And I did see a theory, and I don't know if you've seen this, but I actually really like this. And that may fit into that really nicely. And the theory was that, did you remember seeing the production photo? I think it was Neve, Courtney Cox, and Kevin Williamson.
Oh, yeah.
In front of Stu's house. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I seen that and I was like, now that's interesting. And the first thing that I thought of was, are they still making stab movies?
Yeah.
And then someone said this, and here's me now, that would be really interesting. What if they were playing themselves in the real world?
Who? What? Neve Campbell?
So Neve Campbell would be playing herself, and if they were about making another Scream film, so it would be kind of like winking at itself, like a retro thing,
Okay, yeah.
And I kind of said, you know what, that would be kind of fun,
I never looked at it that way. I don't think that is the case. And the only reason I say this is, from what I've read, apparently this film isn't going to be overly meta.
Okay.
That they are going to tone down the meta-ness. So I'm sure there will be references, etc. and whatever. But I'm kind of liking that fact, actually, because it's like, how many times can you keep the meta-ness going and it still feel fresh?
Exactly.
Scream came around at a time when the slasher subgenre needed to be revived.
Yeah.
Scream came around. Slasher movies were pretty much dead at that point.
Yeah.
Scream come around. I don't think you can replicate that again. I don't think you can. But I don't want to see something that's too meta, that tries to be. I mean, I commend them. They're trying to be clever and all that, but I just want to see a solid slasher film that's a good whodunit.
Same.
That is willing to take some risks, though, at the same time. I tell you what, right? If Dewey survives another film, David Arquette, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I don't want to see him. So, I mean, like Jason, right? If you had a death match between Jason, Michael Myers, and him, Dewey would win. You know that, right? You just can't kill him. You just can't kill him. You can't kill him. I said before on a podcast, shoot him. If you were to cut his head off, it'd be like that head from The Thing. He'd just grow legs out. It just walk off. I think they've been scared. I love David Arquette. Don't get me wrong. I love David Arquette. I thought in Scream 2. I know we're going off topic here. It's the last I say on here. In Scream 2, that moment where he died, where he was, there was like the window between them.
Yeah.
And the music that accompanied that scene, I thought that was great. I thought, wow, that was it was a gut punch. But then, of course, He survived that moment in Scream 3. I'm like, oh God, there's a really cringeworthy moment, man. Dewey's at the top and the killer throws the knife and it knocks him out.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Seriously? That was from a Looney Tune cartoon, man, I swear.
Like
and the
wrong movie.
Yeah, the bit where I remember there's a moment in the house near the end, which actually was from Halloween H20, innit? I don't know if you know, the school and the house are the same. Yeah. And the ghost face, obviously Roman Bridger, punches Dewey out. Why did he just stab him? Why would you just knock him out? You've got a freaking knife in your hand. You'd stab. It's because they're afraid to kill Dewey. They just don't want to kill Dewey.
That's all it is. Yeah.
I know. And I'm like, kill him. If David Arquette is listening, I highly doubt it. I do apologise, David, but I think you should be killed off in the Scream films. I'm sorry. I do love you and all that. Yeah. But yeah, so and Courtney, I love you too. I'm sure you're not listening, but I think you should die in Scream as well. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I love what's that?
Get her killer story.
Yeah, I'll be honest, right? I will be honest. I actually thought she was going to die in the fourth one.
Same.
In the barn scene.
Yeah.
The bar. I actually thought she was going to die. I would have put money on her dying. I remember saying at the time to people, like with the fourth Scream film, Dewey or Gail are going to die. One of them two is going to die. And I was wrong.
Nope.
I was wrong again. So, but no, getting Halloween Kills. So now, hang on a sec. We might actually watch this film together because I'm going to be in Manchester weekend release.
Well, indeed. Yes.
So I think you might be seeing it the day before me. Or okay.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially. I'd be probably going all 3 days with various people, so don't worry.
Okay, cool. I've only ever seen one Halloween film on the big screen, and that was Halloween 2018. No, sorry, I saw Resurrection. No, I did. I'm ashamed to admit I saw Resurrection on the big screen.
Bless you, my heart goes out to you.
Well, do you know what's really... I can't believe I'm actually admitting this, but I'd actually already seen it. Somebody had... obtained the film for me. I watched it, so I actually knew it was pretty bad, and I still went to the cinema and watched it.
That makes it worse.
Which had a different had a different ending. There were 3 endings, and the ending that I'd seen at home was different to the ending at the cinema. The cinema ending was where he's in the mortuary and he opens his eyes, and the other scene was him jumping out of the, I don't know if it was like a sewer or something. He kind of jumps out. Both of them were basically jump scare endings.
Yeah, I remember seeing that on YouTube or something. Yeah, I remember seeing that alternative ending. Yeah.
So yeah, this will be the third Halloween film. Sorry, I've seen on the big screen. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm more looking forward to Scream though, and I think the reason for that is it's just been so long. It's just been so many years since we've had a Scream movie.
Yeah, I get that because I was the same with Halloween 2018. There was so long in Rob Zombie's second one and that movie, So
9 years.
9 years,
9 years. Because I didn't see Rob Zombie's Halloween on the big screen. I didn't see his sequel on the big screen.
No.
Yeah, I had no. As soon as like Rob Zombie's name got attached to it, I just because he's doing the Munsters, isn't he? He's actually doing a Munsters movie.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I think to that.
No,
I like the Munsters and I like the Addams Family. I've always loved them two properties. Well, I'm going to assume it's not going to be Rob Zombie as we know it, and it's going to be toned down and family friendly. I'd like to think.
We can only hope.
House of 1,000 Corpses meets the Munsters. Oh God, I don't want to see something like that. Yeah. We actually watched House of 1,000 Corpses the other day for the first because it was a 2003 film, and I hadn't seen it since release. I actually watched it the other day.
What do you think?
It's okay. I like the fact, because I'm a huge true crime fan, and I like the fact, to me, I like seeing all them like serial killers, like the pictures in the wall, like Albert Fish being there and all that and whatever. But no, Rob Zombie's not really a director for me. There's moments that make me laugh. You know, there are moments here and there and that, but I just don't really take to him as a director. What about yourself?
He's very hit and miss for me personally. House of a Thousand Corpses, it's okay. I love the opening with Captain Spaulding.
Yeah.
I love it, you know. It's a fun movie for me. It's a fun movie. I think Devil's Rejects is better. I think Devil's Rejects is a really, really good film. It's grim with a capital G. You know. His Rob Zombie film, or his Halloween movies, the first one, it's tolerable. Having rewatched it, it's tolerable. The second one, I just could not wait for it to be over. I really couldn't.
Oh, what, Halloween 2?
Halloween 2, yeah. I actually said to myself, and I actually kidded myself, I actually said, do you know what? There can't be any more unlikable characters than there was in the first one, and it was worse. It really was worse.
Yeah.
And Laurie, I'm so sorry to say this, Scout. I love you, but you got on my tits so bad. You really did, you know.
Yeah.
And just this thing of, you know, with her being, you know, really, you know, finding out she's related to Michael, and then she had the same kind of mental. And it just went on and on.
And there was a lot of symbolism in the film, the dead mum, the white horse, and all that. And I'm like, I get like Zombie was trying to be, I don't know, artistic or whatever, a lot of symbolism and stuff. But to me, it just didn't sit right in a Halloween movie. Just you know. And Halloween 2, the 2009 film, is, I'm going to say it right, I prefer Resurrection. Resurrection's bad. Yes, Resurrection is bad, but I just don't like. And to me, the three worst films in the entire franchise are Halloween 2, 2009, Halloween Resurrection, but the one that I hate, like right near the bottom, right with Halloween 2, is I don't like Curse. Because I hate the conspiracy. I hate that I think that was the worst thing, aside from Busta Rhymes kicking ass. I think that was the worst thing to happen to the Halloween franchise, man. The Thorn conspiracy thing. Don't like it.
Yeah. No. I really hate the way they dealt with Jamie's character, Jimmy Lloyd. Because people love her. I like Jamie. I thought Jamie was a really good character.
Yeah.
And then when you kill Curse, she was killed in the opening scene. And
wasn't she killed like she was put in a barn, weren't she? She was on like some piece of machinery. Paul Rudd was in that film as well. Paul Rudd, yeah. I don't. Now, don't get me wrong. The movie does a good job in places of capturing the Halloween spirit and all that. But just the storyline alone, the convoluted druid conspiracy thing and all that is what veered me away from the franchise. Completely. I hated it. I did not like the direction they took the franchise in with that. Michael Myers to me was scary because you didn't know why he did what he did.
Exactly.
And, you know, I mean, Halloween 6 may be my least favorite of the franchise, or Halloween 2, 2009. But believe me, I'm not saying Resurrection's good, because there's one scene alone in Resurrection that makes it terrible. And that is the scene where Busta Rhymes is like basically ridiculing Michael Myers, taking the mick out of him, berating him, knocking him on the head, and Michael Myers just walks away. Why? Like a little dog. There you are, Michael. Good little doggy. Good little doggy. Go away. Like, seriously.
I'm back there. Oh, God. Oh.
I'm like, why didn't he just kill him? Myers has already killed God knows how many people. Why didn't he just kill Busta Rhymes? Because Busta Rhymes, I'm guessing they had it. Busta Rhymes was not to be killed off in the script.
Yeah.
And same with Halloween H20. Halloween H20. LL Cool J survives.
Yeah.
Not only that, Laurie's son, John, survives. His girlfriend survives.
Yeah.
I would have put money on his girlfriend dying, Michelle Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of survivors.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's probably something in Busta Rhymes' contract. He can never be killed on screen or whatever. I don't know.
I would challenge that. I would really
what is it he says? Trick or treat, mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
you know, we have hit rock bottom, and I mean rock bottom.
Yeah, when you've got someone like Tyra Banks and Busta Rhymes making appearances, having roles in your franchise, that's when you kind of know things aren't going to plan. Now, don't get me wrong, LL Cool J was okay. I mean, it's LL Cool J. Deep Blue Sea as well. And he survived that film as well. He's another guy that's got more lives than a cat.
Yeah.
LL Cool J, you just can't get rid of him, can you?
Yeah.
But no, so yeah, with Halloween Kills, because I know we've been going a little while here. I'm kind of expecting box office wise. I know. So you think it's going to make as much, if not more? Do you think more?
Yeah. Yeah.
You think so? Basically, you think this is going to become the highest grossing slasher movie of all time?
Yep. And if it doesn't, it's going to be very close. Very, very close.
Would you like? Are you a gambling man?
No, I'm not, but my grandmother is, and she always says to go for it. So,
okay, I'll tell you what. This is on camera. This is on camera. Seriously, you could easily win this. You could win this. Let's make a £5 bet.
Okay.
£5. I can just about afford that. We'll make a £5 bet. We won't be proved right or wrong until probably theatrical release will end in November, won't it? It'll end in November sometime. So not until November.
Okay.
You say we're going to say more for you, and we're going to say less for me.
Okay.
Deal. I'm not really a gambling person, but sod it. Yeah. So I think let's make a little less. And I think that I don't know. I'm expecting it to be good. I want it to be good, but I don't know. I feel like it's going to get to the point where it's just kind of like, I don't know, going through the motions. And do you know what I mean? I'm not sure if this film is going to throw any big surprises into the mix that we're not really going to see coming. I'd like for it to do that. Yeah.
I have a feeling, could be wrong. I have a feeling that there's going to be one.
Okay.
I'm just on the basis of I know studios do this and they don't give a toss anyway, but when people said, and the trailer did show a lot, but a part of me was like, maybe that's why the trailer showed a little bit more, because they're saving the big whoa moment for the movie. Could be wrong, but you never know. You never know.
Well, I'm calling it now, like you. I'm saying that the what's her character name? Karen's gonna die.
Yeah.
I think either daughter or granddaughter, but my money's on daughter.
Yeah.
Is going to be killed. I will actually be quite surprised if all three survive. I will be quite surprised.
Same.
Are we going to see a Myers head tilt?
I really hope so.
Did we get one in 2018? Did we get a head tilt? I can't remember. I think we must have. There must have been one head tilt in there.
Yeah. Did we get what? I could be wrong. I must try and think of this. Do you remember when Michael killed Ray, who was Karen's husband? And he shot, and that attracted Laurie's attention, and Laurie came down the stairs. And when she looked at
I think there might have. Yeah, there could have been. Yeah, there might have. Yeah, there could have been. You can't have a Halloween film without having a head tilt in there, can you? I mean, Nick Castle, when he pins Bob to the... It's become pretty iconic for horror. We got the sit-up as well, didn't we? We did get a sit-up near the end when he's down in the... I love... Do you know what? The original Halloween, one of my favourite moments in that film is the scene in which he's in the background and then he does the sit-up. It's just so fantastic. Laurie Strode's at the forefront. He's in the background, and he does that sit up and that head turn. I just absolutely love that shot of the movie, man.
Yeah. I'll actually tell you one of my favorites. And recently, because I have more of an acquired taste now, but when I seen, it actually scared the shit out of me. Recently, when I seen the original again, which was when Annie's on the phone, and he's out the doors.
Yeah. And she walks past and then he's gone.
It's fucking creepy.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, really, I love that. I love again earlier on in the film where Laurie's sitting there in the school and she looks out the window and Myers is stood there by the car. I just love it. It's so simplistic. It's so simple but effective. And that's what I really like about Myers.
Yeah, probably my favorite shot in the original, bar none. There's a lot of them I love, but this one really creeps me out. Is when Tommy first sees him across the street, the silhouette of.
Yeah.
That really freaks me out.
And you know who that was, right?
Yeah.
Deborah Hill.
Deborah
Hill. And do you know, you'd know this, you know when you said Annie's on the telephone?
Yeah.
Do you know who she's talking to?
Yes. Oh. Here I go with names. Remind me.
It's John Carpenter.
Yeah.
It is actually cut. Oh, I've just spoiled it. That was going to be a quiz question. That was going to be a Talk and Stalk quiz question. So, this will test to see if people have been watching. Yeah, it was actually John Carpenter.
Yeah.
And Annie, Nancy Loomis, because her name is Nancy Loomis, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is really odd. The whole Loomis name gets, obviously, Halloween's a tribute to Psycho, Scream's a tribute to Halloween, and she actually, you probably know this, the first victim in the film in Halloween 2, the girl on the phone, that's Nancy Loomis on the phone.
Yes, I knew that,
That was her, like, aside from appearing as a corpse, with a cut throat and that was her other little bit for the movie. Yeah,
here's one for you. You see, in the 2018 movie, you'll know this. When, do you know when Alison is in the classroom? It's when she looks out and she sees Laurie.
Laurie, as in like kind of a nod to the original, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know who voices the teacher? You don't see her.
Oh, I'd have to listen to it again. I tell you what, no, seriously, I'll get back to you on that one. I'll watch the scene and I've never paid attention to who.
Listen who, and you will chuckle.
So I'm assuming it's someone well known then.
Yeah, and someone Halloween related.
Okay. Yeah, I've never paid attention. I'll have a listen to that one. Yeah.
It's one you couldn't show her for some various reason. But listen, and you'll get it. You'll know who it is by a long shot.
All right, I'm going to throw out a guess here. Now, don't tell me, if I'm like, tell me who it is or whatever afterwards if I'm wrong. Is it? I'm going to just go out on a limb and say, is it PJ Souls?
Could be.
Is it or isn't it?
He was.
Is it PJ Souls? Is it really?
Yeah,
I got it right.
Yep, you got it right.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I just thought Halloween, I thought it's got to be Nancy Loomis, PJ Souls, or maybe Nancy Stevenson. It's got to be one of them, surely. I couldn't think of anyone else. Okay, no, I didn't realise that.
Yeah, you'll see it, yeah.
That's totally awesome.
Isn't it?
That is totally awesome. Oh, God, yeah. I mean, you can make that into a drinking game, down a shot every time she says totally. She was also in Carrie, wasn't she? One of my favourite Stephen King adaptations. She was in that. But yeah, I think we'll be going for Jesus, man. We're going for about an hour. I don't actually know as to why this hasn't come up and actually said it's going to end recording. So it's weird.
Yeah, that was the quiz, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, what we're going to do, we're going to have a quiz coming up again soon, aren't we? We're going to be doing a quiz. We are going to be covering a certain horror movie released from 1974. A little horror film from 1974, directed by Toby Hooper. It gave birth to a horror icon called Leatherface. I'm sure you've all worked it out. But
thanks
Yeah, that's going to be the next podcast we do. That should hopefully be later this week. There's going to be another quiz coming soon. And so, yeah, that's pretty much, we're both excited for Halloween Kills. I try not to speculate too much and stuff and come up with theorize too much, because I feel like if you end up theorizing and you're getting it right, you might have spoiled and ruined the film for yourself a little, somewhat.
Yeah, I think it gets to the point where it's nice to speculate and stuff and read theories, but I think you can get lost in it, and you think, and then...
and you know what? You can come up with theories and stuff in your own mind that probably ends up better than what we got in the film.
Yeah.
And that's where you end up disappointed. If you don't build up theories in your own mind, that way you can't be disappointed.
Exactly.
And I'm like that with Scream, because I'm going in, even though I want one of these characters to die, I'm not deluding myself into thinking they will. So, not to sound sadistic or anything like I said, David Arquette, I love you, man. But
we love you,
Dave. So yeah, even though you did do Buffy the Vampire Slayer in '92, but never mind. That's actually an okay film. Yeah, well, I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but yeah. So that's it for today, anyway. So cheers, Joseph, for coming on, man.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
And we'll be back again soon to haunt you, torment you. If you've liked what you've heard and I've not offended you, so please feel free to like and subscribe, and all support is just massively appreciated. So yeah, and I'll give you a tenner later, Joseph, for saying that.
No worries. Thank
you. He doesn't come cheap.
No.
So yeah, thanks a lot, people. We'll be back again soon to haunt you and torment you. Take care.
See you guys.